I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't
God
that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up from home. Whoa!
And that's a base hit to right. One runs in. Lockridge coming home to tie the game. He will. Sanchez, way back and way gone. Again, fly ball right center, headed towards the gap, and is in the gap and off the wall. Lockridge delivers again. It's 5-2. Bowers a fly ball to right. Fraley back, and it is gone. Insurance for the Brewers on Bowers' second of the year. Runner takes off, not being held. Little chopper to Bowers. That should do it. They'll apply the tag on Williams, and the Brewers would even the series with the rubber match coming up tomorrow. A 6-2 win for Milwaukee.
Yeah, gotta love it. You know, every time it seems like Randy Woodruff makes a start at American Family Field, the Brewers pick up a win. He does get the win today. Another great job by the bullpen and timely hitting once again for the Brewers.
And if only those were the most popular sounds from last night's game. Not so much. CB Buckner had a bad day at work. Please, God, don't let him have a bad day behind the plate today. But they even the series, Josh, and that's all we can ask for. What's up, Wisconsin? Happy Hump Day inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht. Hi. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. A good dub for the Brewers. A good dub for the Bucks. Some good news out of Phoenix for the Packers. And the Badgers wait to play some hockey. Let's play catch-up.
Packers.
Let's check in with Rob Domofsky from ESPN down in Phoenix, who reminds us Matt LaFleur's taking some ownership right now.
With more than 2 months to reflect on what went wrong last season, Packers coach Matt LaFleur came up with several reasons for the 9-3-1 start turning into a 5-game losing streak and another first-round playoff loss. He said, we had some guys on our team last year that were unhappy about their roles, and it took its toll on our football team. LaFleur admitted that also might have played a part in why he received a low grade in the NFL Players Association survey, in which several players commented on LaFleur's lack of respect for players. LaFleur didn't run away from that. He said, it means I've got to do a better job communicating with our team.
It's an important reminder of what else came out yesterday because Ed Policy spoke in Phoenix. It's the first time we've gotten a longer chat with him, and he talked about the contract extensions. He said that he had decided to sign Matt LaFleur to an extension before the team's meltdown in the NFC wildcard playoff loss to the Bears. He went on to say in this piece that Rob Domofsky put out yesterday that although he acknowledges that he heard the cries, if you will, from all of the fans, he was raised not to make emotional decisions. But Josh, this was the one that I thought was interesting from a quote from Policy. Here's it. We talked a lot about goals, Ed said, and certainly accountability is a big part of any head coach's job. He, Policy, won't speak about any of the details in the contract, but to reiterate, these contracts for both Matt LaFleur, Russ Ball, Brian Gutekunst, all very real contracts. And for all three of them, these were not one-year extensions. They were multi-year extensions, not prove-it contracts. They were very significant commitments to each of the three. Josh, he could not be more sure that he has the right people in the right seats on the bus. How do we feel about that?
Not great. I don't feel great about it. The only thing that's keeping me from getting really upset about that is the fact that you could sign him to however long of a contract you want. You can still kick him to the curb. So right. At the very least, in the back of my mind, I'm going, yeah, okay. But if they really mess this up, it just costs you more money for your decision. Got it. True. Okay.
Do you think that they're all attached, those three? I mean, he kind of comes out and talks about all three of them at the same time.
He makes it seem that way, but I hope not. I don't feel like it should be. I know that there are areas that need improvement for all three of them, but I mean, what are you going to say Russ Ball's done wrong? You know, like how is he collateral damage if Matt LaFleur ends up a 7th seed and first round exit again this year? How's that Russ Ball's fault? I really hope that it's not a package deal.
The idea that Ed Policy has worked with Russ or known Russ for 25 years, obviously known Matt for the 7 he's been in Green Bay, and 14 years of data points with Brian and Russ together. I thought the talk about the data points, though, in regards to all three of them together to this point was interesting. At what point does the data not matter? That's one thing I'm trying to figure out this morning as I review this article and go, how much are we ignoring emotion versus analytics? And that doesn't work in baseball. Why is it working in football?
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. A lot of this too is it's still going to be prove it. I think that Policy realizes too that if he just ignores things here, that people are going to start coming after Policy too. So no one's job is really safe per se. It's just where the blame goes, and usually it rolls downhill. So I'd still expect if things don't go the way that they're supposed to, you can bring up analytics or otherwise. Wins and losses. That's what it's going to come down to, and the future of all involved.
Is CB Buckner's job safe? Asking for a friend.
It shouldn't be.
Brewers.
He had a bad day at work.
He's had a rough start to the season.
Seriously. Yeah. The human aspect of it is going, come on, man. Like, help yourself.
So this is, and we're going to talk about this a lot today. I mean, we already had JB in the 9-2 on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. I think as the intro to the show was playing, texted us and said, hey, how about CB Buckner last night, boys? Woo. Yeah, we'll be talking about it a lot, but I almost felt bad for him. On that call because I was like, boy, you made a decision there. And you know that everyone's poking fun at you for that one. Like, that's when you just got to wear.
Before we get to that, let's recap a little bit else of the game before we say that he needs to wear it. Bryce Terang, good at baseball.
Yes, he is.
And that's a base hit to right. One runs in. Lockridge coming home to tie the game. He will. Throw goes to second. They've got Terang and a rundown. Terang racing towards second base, and he's tagged out. As the tag was applied, the ball popped loose, but it was on the exchange. They will not count the run at home. And Pat Murphy is going to go out and talk with the second base umpire.
And Milwaukee is going to challenge the call at second base.
So that started the squirreliness. The reason I say Bryce Terang is good at baseball is because that play that he made, deciding to go to second, allowed that second run to score.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a huge part in the game. Now, that call got overturned. Thank you. It was not on the exchange. It was a clear bobble and a clear miss and a clear drop and clearly safe for Terang at second. Later in the game, after that squirreliness, which kind of set the tone, Gary Sanchez, good at baseball.
Sanchez, way back and way gone. The second home run of the season for Gary Sanchez, and the Brewers lead it 4-2. That was loud.
Audio courtesy of Brewers TV and the Brewers Radio Network. And right after that, here we go.
Bowers, in and out of the glove of Williamson. Throws to first, it's wide. It's backed up by Fortes. That should be a base hit for Bowers.
Runner did not touch first base and then was put out.
So the call from CB Buckner is that Jake Bowers missed first base. and then was tagged out. Not that he made a move to second base and was tagged out, that he flat out missed the bag. And I think that is the horrendous call. Where is C.B. Buckner looking?
He's not even looking at it. Why would he even say that?
C.B. Buckner was not even looking at the play.
He stepped right on top of first base. I'm not sure what C.B. Buckner's looking at there. That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm really excited for him to have the plate tomorrow.
That's just a waste of time reviewing that.
At least review is available so you can get it right.
Yeah, no kidding. Everybody laughing at that call.
Kevin Cash is laughing. Look at Murph. Those two guys are laughing. I can't wait to see that text chain between those two guys.
Yeah.
Murph talked about the chuckle after the game between him and Kevin Cash and that whole scenario there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to criticize people for their deal. I mean, it was something he thought happened, so I'm not going to, criticize that.
Murph, there's a moment there where Kevin Cash looked at you and smiled, and you smiled back. Can you remember what was
Kevin and I are friends. Yeah, we're friends. We hadn't got a chance to talk to each other before the game, so we were just smiling back at each other.
That's how you communicate with your friends?
Sometimes. Just smile. How you doing, Kevin?
So,
sometimes,
as you might expect, we have questions.
Oh, incredible.
We're not going to hijack the I have questions portion, but if you have input or questions about this, please text us, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Josh, when you saw that, I couldn't help but think of something like basketball. Let's just use college basketball as an example.
Mm-hmm.
If a ref doesn't see whether the ball was out of bounds by that team or this team, they put their hands up and they go, I don't know, I didn't see it.
Right.
In the replay, C.B. Buckner clearly went squirrel.
He's not looking at the base.
At all.
He's not even looking at it.
The ball was an errant throw. It caught his attention. Listen, I can relate to this.
Yeah, right? Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Like, I have a job. I am dialed in. Oh, look at that. That was a really bad throw. Oh, God, I didn't see him touch the base at all. So I'm just going to go with, because I didn't see it, it must not have happened.
Right. It was not a bang play at the plate. It was not. I mean, that's the other thing too. If you miss this, the throw to first was not to first. I mean, not even close. Like the turnaround throw was like halfway down the line between home and first. So it's not even a bang play. If you miss it, maybe you sneezed at just the wrong time. Something could have happened. Light in your eye, whatever. Go with, yeah, he did everything he was supposed to do. Good play. Let's keep it moving. For him to be like, no, I'm pretty sure he didn't. He missed the bag. What?
And confidently, too. The call on the field was that he missed the bag and was tagged out, essentially.
So have you ever been an umpire? Have you ever had to be? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I will tell you, I did it in a celebrity softball game a couple years ago. And I would tell you, like, when you're going to make that call, any call, like, you have to be confident about it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be. You can't be wishy-washy about the call. Even if it's a split-second decision, you got to make the decision. You got to be like, nope, he's out. He was out. He was out. Even if in your head you're going, I'm not really sure. It could go either
Right.
way. Flip a coin. Out loud, you got to be like, listen, you were out. You did not get to that bag in time.
Well, but in order to make a call, you got to watch the play.
Right. That's where C.B. Buckner, I mean, geez.
Well, you heard Jeff say it there. And Jason in the 920 says, how about Jeff Levering so far this season? Great calls. Great job. And nobody can say it like Jeff. Well, can't wait for him to be behind the
I know.
plate.
When he said that, I was like, brilliant. Just getting everyone ready for today.
Yeah, we got some audio, hopefully. Jeez, or hopefully not, maybe. Let's just maybe have a good game.
That's the thing. I'm kind of hoping after all this and knowing the season that he's had so far, Buckner, I'm kind of hoping he has a really good game. He just calls a normal good game. But let me tell you, everyone that's going, when are the robot umps coming? Yeah, CB Buckner not helping.
Let's just hypothetically say he has a bad game today and Murph blows a gasket. John Boy, you are on notice.
Oh, yeah. Reading the lips, going to be a fun one.
Butner doesn't come across as a guy that's going to come out and go, bad day at work, boys. Sorry about that. Let's have a good day today. No, nope.
Right.
I just get the feeling, kind of like Angel Hernandez. Did you ever see him eat crow? No, you just over and over and over.
Never a word about it. Nothing. No, that one's on me. My bad. None of that.
The 920 says on the Nicolay Law talk and text line, that phone number, by the way, 414-677-1250. Your reaction is welcome, please and thank you. Says, do you think Buckner's in on the take? Does he gamble?
Oh,
but let's be real.
That's
if
your
he was
tinfoil
gambling,
hat. Yeah.
Yeah, but if he was gambling, is that the play you try to squeak through? That one?
Right. No. What was that? You had Bauer's under. Like what was the bet that you needed to come home?
It was plus 2,300 on an infield single off the second base.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
All right, so much more to ask and review about these two calls in particular, but maybe the one with Jake Bowers was just erroneous enough to take up the entire segment that we call I Have Questions, and you wait to hear Lane Grindle's call of this on the Milwaukee Brewers Radio Network. With all due respect to Jeff Levering, who we love dearly, Lane Grindle, take a bow.
Yeah, Lane lost his mind. You'll want to hear that for sure.
On to the Badgers.
Badgers.
Is Madison the college hockey capital of the world right now?
Absolutely. How could it not be right now?
Pretty much. We'll take it. Somebody dropped that moniker. Oh, it was Wisconsin's Twitter. Well, whatever. We'll call ourselves the Wisconsin/National College Hockey Capital of the World.
Still valid.
We are in waiting. Frozen 4, Thursday, April 9th, 4 o'clock Central. The Badgers played North Dakota at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on ESPN2. We've got some time. Everybody just chill. Other than that, there's really not a lot going on in Madison, which is A-okay.
Yep, that's right.
There is some stuff going on with the Bucks, though.
Bucks.
Winner, chicken dinner?
Why? Isn't that bad? Isn't it bad now? Can't we all agree at this point winning does not help this team? They are eliminated. You cannot advance further than the regular season at this point, but you can put yourself further away from the best draft pick available, right?
Well, but is this not the story of the Bucks season to royally screw this up?
I'm just so confused. I literally was trying so hard not to focus on the fact that the Bucks won and find any other some silver lining. And luckily there was one. A third Antetokounmpo gets points in NBA history and with the Milwaukee Bucks.
All right, Alex's first minutes here, NBA minutes that you're witnessing here on FanDuel Sports Network. The first time in NBA history, three brothers signed on an active roster to the same team. And he signed a two-way contract back in October, but this is his first taste of NBA action.
Nerves and pride at the same time.
A little bit of Antetokounmpo history and NBA history. Alex's first points of his career. Another Antetokounmpo in the NBA books. 3 of 4 from the free throw line for his first 3 points of his NBA career.
Congratulations, Alex Antetokounmpo. Give that ball to Alex Antetokounmpo.
Let's grab that game ball quickly. Did you see how quickly Giannis went up to the scores table to grab that? Look at it. He got the ball in his hands.
It was very cool seeing Giannis and Thanasis both, neither of them dressed, but both freaking out on the bench for Alex as he gets his first points.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting at home being like, yeah, okay. But for your brother, it's literally your brother getting his first points in the NBA. That's an incredible moment.
It's
and
awesome.
I thought it's especially when Giannis goes and he grabs the ball, knowing in the past for game ball, shenanigans that have happened where I don't remember who it was or what the team was, but you remember that when it was someone's first game and it was also like Giannis's, like a milestone game for him. They were fighting over the game ball.
I remember.
I don't even know that the buzzer had sounded and Giannis already had the game ball in his hands. Nope, this is mine. This is coming home with us.
Zero chance you're getting this. I went to dinner last night with a particular coach who asked a question. What do? Do they just blow it up? I mean, literally blow it up. Doc gone, staff gone, Antetokounmpo's gone. What's left?
Yeah, maybe. That is absolutely a possibility. I think the fact that it's a huge question mark is like the scariest thing. I literally have no idea which way the Bucks are going to lean. They blowing it up? Are they half blowing it up? Are they just going to trade Giannis and keep other pieces? Are they just going to get rid of Doc and some of these other guys that have been here way too long and try to build around Giannis? There are like 1,000 possibilities, and not one of them has more leverage than the other in my brain right now.
Well, the good news is that's a future inside Wisconsin sports problem.
True.
not something for today. All right. Anything else?
Anything else?
Not really, but we do have an awesome show today. Rob Zerjav from the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, the baby Brewers. The roster is set. Their first game tomorrow in Appleton. We'll check in with the president and the CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, the high A minor league affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. I saw Luis Pena in Appleton.
Interesting.
Yeah, that surprised me. I have questions for Rob, as you do too. The most electrifying sound of the day is from the Brewers game. That's coming up later this hour. We have lots of questions between now and then, though, in regard to CB Buckner, but also how are we riding the roller coaster ride that is 162 games? Brewers are 4-1, high highs, low lows. There will be winning streaks. There will be losing streaks. How are you doing on the roller coaster of life that is the 17-month season of Major League Baseball? At least that's what it feels like. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. And any other thoughts on CB Buckner? Who's signing up to be an ump today? You? Please? We'll be back in a bit on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Remember, Inside Wisconsin Sports is a podcast. Search wherever you listen to your favorite pods or wisportsradio.com. Catch up on any time, any part, any hour, any segment, any laugh. You won't miss a thing if you follow along with Inside Wisconsin Sports on your favorite podcast. That's what we are, Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh. Before we get to I Have Questions, Josh, I want to play the Lane Grindle home run call. Lane Grindle was on one last night from the Milwaukee Brewers radio network. Listen to this home run call, because shortly thereafter, he maybe had the moment of his broadcasting career in Milwaukee, but here's what the dinger sounded like.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want the Sanchez? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Sanchez home run Grindle call. Yep.
Yeah. Want to make sure I got the right one here.
1-2 pitch. High drive. Center field. Back. Track. Bye-bye baseball. The second home run of the season for Gary Sanchez, and the Brewers lead it 4-2. That was loud. 414 feet. Man, does that dude possess some power. Woo.
It was right after that the wheels fell off, and that leads to all of the questions today. All of them.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious. Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. You definitely have questions about this, as do we, along with long season. How do we do this? Coming off of the best year in Brewers baseball outside of the World Series appearance, but the best year in terms of record, in terms of win streaks, all of it. The number one seed. How are we going to ride the train / roller coaster that is the Brewers season? But before we get to that and your thoughts, we got to take a look at this whole CB Buckner thing. And I thought Lane Grindle on the Milwaukee Brewers radio network did a great job of summarizing what that was.
That is the Homer Simpson meme when he backs back into the bush. Like that's CB Buckner when he sees the replay right here. I mean, Jake Bauers is laughing hysterically at first base. I mean, CB Buckner has wasted all of our time here. I mean, if he laid on first base, he wouldn't have touched more of it. And why is this taking so long, by the way? Like, why is this taking so long? Is the internet down in New York?
After review, he's safe. The call's overturned. Milwaukee retains their challenge.
How did that take 60 seconds? We had a courier pigeon that brought the news back to us tonight. This is the most obvious overturn I've ever seen in a baseball game in my life. Pat Murphy's laughing. Kevin Cash is laughing. What is happening in this baseball game right now?
There was a part of me, Josh, that thought Murph was going to lose his mind just to set an example. But then, of course, the Zen Murph prevails, and he says, I don't have to nitpick at people like that. He missed it, whatever.
Yeah, it was a moment of, like when you're really mad about something and then it ends up like you were wrong about being mad, and then you're like, okay, all right. And you kind of just like, your brain goes laugh because you were. So that's what it seemed like was happening in the dugout with Murph. It was like he was ready to explode, and then it got overturned, and then he sees across the way in the other dugout, they're laughing, and he can't hold back. Now he's laughing, because that's very unlike Murph. Have you ever seen Murph laugh in a dugout before? Have you ever seen him laugh?
That was the largest smile I've ever seen him have in baseball.
Period. Right? Yeah. And so I think that was just like a natural human reaction to stop yourself from being angry once you realize it's no longer something to be angry about.
A few moments later, CB Buckner's behind the plate today for the third game in the series.
Incredible.
A day game. We'll see how it goes. We're going to have some questions tomorrow. I feel like if Major League Baseball has a brain, they call the Brewers and the Rays today and go, okay, hear us out. We're going to give you 2 more challenges in the old ABS system today.
You preemptively, here's 2 more.
Use them wisely. We're going to talk to them, but we got to get through today. Okay. No fights, no punches, no screaming matches. We know they're not going to do that, but they should. So Josh, the empathy in me is going, what? People can't have a bad day at work.
Right. I feel bad. I feel a little bad for ZB Buckner. Now, I think the reason why I'm allowing myself to feel bad for him is because they got it right eventually. If it would have not been a play that was overturned and we had to live with that mistake, I think then I would be very upset. But because everyone was able to laugh about it and the right call was made eventually, now I'm sitting here going, oh boy, yeah, that sucks, man. That really sucks. You're wearing that one. And I understand, like, you signed up for that. You're a Major League Baseball umpire. Like, you're gonna wear those a lot. And I don't know that there's any umpire in the game who has been perfect, and not been embarrassed a little bit. But there's been a lot of humble pies served for CB Buckner already this season with ABS challenges.
Yeah, he missed 20 calls in one game earlier this season. Is that the tweet I saw?
Yeah, and there was a time where I think there was 4, ABS like legitimate challenges used, and he went 0 for 4 in those in a game already this season. So he's not having a hot start to the season. He needs a reset. He needs to have a good game to just kind of get back on track.
Here's the crazy part. He is a Jamaican umpire in Major League Baseball. Can you hear his voice in an argument? Yeah, man, I missed it, man.
Does he have like a thick Jamaican? I've never heard him talk.
Me neither, but I just read it. A Jamaican umpire in Major League Baseball. If you're a manager, and listen, like, everybody's got an accent, I understand. If I go out there and start arguing with him about a call and he starts yamaning me, I'm probably just gonna walk away. How do you fight with that?
I literally no idea.
He's been in the league a hot minute. Worked in the National League from 96 to 99 in both leagues since 2000. So this isn't his first rodeo. He's used to it. He missed one, but it does go to show that when all of us get up there in age, we're not as good as we once was. He's 63. Angel Hernandez retired. There's been a number of these guys that at the end of their career just oops, squirrel.
Yep.
I can relate.
Definitely can relate to the squirrel.
So that's game 5. Today's game 6. Told there was going to be no math, but there are 156 games left after, including today's game.
Yep.
How do we do this? How do we look at last season and then look at this season and have the expectations, which are disappointments waiting to happen, and go, easy. We're along for the ride.
Listen, this is going to be a morning mind dump at some point throughout the season for me, because I am terrified about the emotional strain that this season is going to have on my brain. I did not expect myself 5 games in to already be this amped, this committed, this into every win and or loss. Like, usually I'm in, and we asked that, right? I think it was right before opening day. We asked, at what point in the season do you start looking at the standings and paying attention to things? But when this team came out as if they're just continuing right where they left off last season, I'm right there with them. It's game 5, and I'm like already paying attention as if it's September. This is going to be a long roller coaster ride of a season if this is the mentality and the emotion that I'm already at after 5 games. I was hoping like 45 games, maybe.
Well, okay, so what point last year did we live and die by every pitch? Because that became a thing. Was it the first? Do you think it was the first win streak when we got to 8?
I think maybe, yeah, around there. There was definitely a point in time where we were like, hey, I'm all in on this now. It's probably around there. It was definitely not game 5. I promise you that.
Yeah. Well, but it's last year's fault.
100%. It's absolutely just, it's not even just the results of last year. It's how this team came out in game 1, game 2, game 3 of this. I mean, it was really, for me, I think it was game 3. When they climbed back and won that game, and with those heroics from Yelly to sweep the Sox, I think that's what did it. I was like, the Woodpeckers are back. After 3 games, they're back. All right, strap in. Let's go. All summer long, we're going to be cheering or freaking out after every game. Great.
And I love it. And I can't wait for it to get warmer. Right now, we're stuck in my garage watching baseball. Soon enough, we'll be in Andy's backyard or Gift's garage with the doors open.
This is an interesting take on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line. 262 says, Josh, I'm right there with you on this team. I attribute it to the Bucks being crap and the Packers' disappointment in the postseason. I need something to cheer for. That's interesting. I always say that, like, in Wisconsin sports, it's a cycle, right? Like, a team will keep us on them until a new team comes, and then they disappoint us. And then there's a ray of sunshine and hope because a new season is here, and then they'll disappoint us. But then a new one will, and it just keeps going. With the Bucks being as disappointing as they were this season, yeah, we were desperate for Brewers baseball.
Yeah.
But I still didn't expect it to be this early.
So can I tell you a real quick karma story about ripping on somebody for having a bad day at work?
Sure.
Just now, I had a reminder go off on my end to send Rob Zurjev the link for 7 o'clock. Rob Zurjev, Timber Rattlers president and CEO, joining us at 7.
Okay.
I type in Rob on my MacBook because you can text from your MacBook. Here's the link for 7. Send. Rob Domofsky just got a wake-up call in Phoenix.
All right.
Perfect.
There you go. Sorry, Rob.
This is why I can't have nice things. Oh, God. Of all the Robs in my phone, why him? Why Rob Domofsky?
Well, we did play Rob Domofsky in the first segment.
Sure. Yeah.
Could have been top of mind.
Is that what my computer heard?
Maybe.
Get a brain. Jake Bowers, also known as Rake Bowers.
Yes.
Is off to a hot start, which he's carrying on from spring training. We'll hear his home run call from last night and continue on your feedback on CB Buckner and how much we are already living and dying with every pitch as we start the 2026 Brewers season. When do you think Rob texts back? He probably doesn't. Thanks for the wake-up call.
No. He'll probably just be like, what the heck was this? Go back
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's not even an April Fool's joke either.
Hey, in case you missed it, the Bucks won last night. And when the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. No purchase is necessary. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win, so act fast and get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day.
The most electrifying
On Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Bowers, a fly ball to right. Fraley back, and it is gone! Insurance for the Brewers on Bowers' second of the year.
Well, he hit 7 of them in spring training. Second one this year. High towering shot. Just out of the reach of Fraley and right.
And that Jake Bauers home run call, courtesy of Jeff Levering, Bill Schroeder, and Brewers TV, is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. Trevor, I feel like I'm just going to say it. Every time that there is a Jake Bauers home run, that's going to be the most electrifying sound of the day. For our friend Tommy, big time Tommy, that's the most electrifying sound. And it's just fantastic to see him continue to be Rake Bauers. I was
going to say, good news for him and you and us. It's happening. Having a season so far, Jake Bauers. I was a little surprised to see him out of the lineup a couple days ago for that reason. Not that you want to wear a dude out, but when he can come in and pinch hit and get a hit and be in the game and get a hit, it doesn't matter where he's playing in the game, he's hitting.
Right.
We'll take it.
Keep it going. Hey, really quick on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. We were talking about where you're at, the roller coaster ride that is this Brewers season. And I said, I'm already in 5 games in. Did not think that this was going to be the case. Well, JB in the 920 says there's an early case of Brewer fever going around. He was at a gas station yesterday and a guy saw his hoodie and they had a nice little 2-minute exchange as he was leaving. They said, rough one last night. Not going to win 162-0. No one does. Hey, at least Harrison had a good outing. It was such a good exchange. They almost high-fived. I love it. That's usually something that happens at least August, if not September. They're already there. You love to see that. Also, a different person in the 920 says, hey, Josh, you said the Brewers team is picking up where they left off last year. If that was true, they would have got swept just like the Dodgers did to them. Okay. All right, guy. Listen, I don't know what's in your Cheerios this morning, but I'm talking about the way that this Brewers team plays baseball and their fight and them being locked in and not trying to figure things out, but know what their goal is, know how to do it, and get there. Yeah, obviously, I'm not talking about the last series and how it ended, but the regular season itself and who this team was is exactly what they're doing now.
So we're going to ride the wave.
We're going to ride it. Absolutely.
And it's going to be awesome. And the Packers don't start for a minute. Wisconsin's out, and it's all we have. And if you're listening to Sports Talk Radio, that means that you're in on Wisconsin sports in general. So let's ride the wave. If they're good, let's go. If they're bad, we'll talk about it just like we have with the Bucks, because they're bad.
Yes, Bucks are very bad.
Bad.
Although not bad enough. They could have lost last night. I'm still confused.
I think about Murph's tour that he did here to kind of kick off the hot stove season.
Mm-hmm.
And he was blown away by the love for Brewers baseball across the state of Wisconsin and here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It doesn't matter. He was in Wausau. He didn't go up to Duluth, but he was around the state. Eau Claire, La Crosse, Milwaukee, here in Green Bay. It doesn't matter, man. The Brewers are a big part of the fabric of Wisconsin sports. And I say that to remind all of us of that, but more to call it out. That's not been the case always. This is a Packers state. Come on. There's no arguing that. Let's be real. If the Packers make news like Ed Policy did yesterday, there's going to be conversation about what he had to say. What are his thoughts? Why did he extend those guys? What is he doing talking about naming rights at Lambeau Field? He explained that. There's a great article in the Green Bay Press Gazette this morning from Ryan Wood about all of the things that Policy talked about yesterday, including the business side of the Green Bay Packers. It doesn't matter what happens in Packer land. If they make news, it's news. And the Brewers seem to be right there with them. Is that the case, Josh, or is it just because we do what we do for a living?
No, it definitely seems to be that way. I mean, winning changes everything. I say it all the time. And putting up a season like the Brewers did last year, that'll do it. But again, I feel like it's still something different to start this season. We've had good seasons in the past, and I feel like a lot of times, whether they're winning or losing, it's there's a lot of season left. And we're just enjoying the fact that baseball is back. And that was halfway through opening day. And then it seemed like that mentality was gone for a lot of people. For me, it was after game 3. Game 3, and I was locked in. I was like, this team is back. Let's go.
The team is back in Appleton. The boys are back in town. The Class A affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers, the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, hit the field tomorrow. Unlikely with the weather, but we'll see. Rob Zerjav joins us next. He's the president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. We'll check in with him on all things Rattler baseball this coming season and the crew that arrived there, which includes Luis Pena, which I have questions. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Be right back.
It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by Habish, and Rotier. Cloudy conditions today with winds up to 30 miles per hour. High of 39 degrees. It's currently 35 degrees here in Milwaukee.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
And that's a base hit to right. One runs in. Lockridge coming home to tie the game. He will. Sanchez way back and way gone. Again, fly ball right center, headed towards the gap. It is in the gap and off the wall. Lockridge delivers again. It's 5-2. Bowers a fly ball to right. Fraley back, and it is gone! Insurance for the Brewers on Bowers' second of the year. Runner takes off, not being held. Little chopper to Bowers. That should do it. They'll apply the tag on Williams, and the Brewers would even the series with the rubber match coming up tomorrow. A 6-2 win for Milwaukee.
Yeah, gotta love it. You know, every time it seems like Brandon Woodruff makes a start at American Family Field, the Brewers pick up a win. He does get the win today. Another great job by the bullpen and timely hitting once again for the Brewers.
The big boy Brewers are off to a banger start for the 2026 season, and the baby Brewers begin versus Beloit tomorrow. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Not the most wonderful time, unfortunately, from a weather perspective. We kick off today's Malott Meets Morning Mind Dump with a guest on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. The baby Brewers are back in town. Rob Zerjav joins us from the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. The president, the CEO. I know you can't shovel right now, but maybe you can spread some salt. There's a little bit of weather, but nonetheless, the season starts tomorrow. Rob, good to see you, bud.
Trev, thanks. Josh, good to see you. Yeah, rotator cuff surgery, so no shoveling, no tarp pulling for me.
How's the recliner?
Doing great. Beautiful.
So the festivities officially begin on the field tomorrow, and we're all aware that there's no dome in Appleton at Neuroscience Group Field in Fox City Stadium. So you'll get through however you get through, as you always have for the last, forever. Yet today, there's a fun and exciting day planned at Fox City Stadium in Neuroscience Group Field as well with FanFest, Timber Rattlers FanFest. So before we get to the season and the baby Brewers themselves and Luis Pena in Appleton, tell us about FanFest and what we can experience today.
Yeah, if you want to come out to the ballpark, we're going to be opening it up free to the fans. We have a rummage sale going on starting at noon. So gates will open, concessions will be happening. The team should be able to get out to practice today around 2 or 3 o'clock. We'll have the Brewer game on the video board, so that's a noon start for them. So a lot of baseball happening, and if you want to just get out of the office or the kids are off on spring break, head on out to the ballpark and take in the Timber Rattlers before the season starts.
What's all in the rummage sale? Is it just like gear, or are there any like signs from last year? Any one of a kind items that people can scoop up?
A lot of various items. So there'll be merchandise, but then just random signs from the ballpark that aren't up anymore. There'll be some player merchandise. There'll be things that the guys just left flat, cleats from last year that they just decided they didn't want anymore. So it's every year's a little bit different, but definitely some unique stuff that you'll find in the rummage sale today.
Love it.
All of it's 50% off.
Yeah.
Which is a great price.
50% off some cleats, They have them in your size, Trevor.
Do you think
maybe?
there's
Trevor, they might have them in your size. I mean, last year, I don't know, 15, 16, I don't know what size shoe, but they're big.
14,
big
14. Those are metal, though. Well, I'm hanging up the softball cleats anyway. Moving on. The baby Brewers are back in town, and that's what people love the most. Before we get to all the things that you can experience at a Timber Rattlers game this weekend, the giveaways and whatever else you have going on, what I call outside the fence. Let's go inside the fence first. You guys posted a video to Twitter yesterday of the boys getting off the bus, walking in the front door, and the roster is set, but probably only for like a hot second. So maybe take us through, Rob, how this roster gets set. Do you go to spring training? What say do you have? And how excited are you to have the guys back?
I guess, I'll take that in kind of reverse order. Very excited for the guys to get back. The amount of say I have in the roster is 0. If I had any say, Jesus Day would be in Appleton, but he outperformed himself last year with us, so he's up at AA. But very pleasantly surprised. Luis Pena is back with us. Super excited about that. Andrew Fisher, who was kind of the darling of spring training with the World Baseball Classic and playing for Team Italy. And, even when he got into a Brewer game, hit like a 420-foot home run. I thought that sealed the deal and he was going to be moving on. So it was a pleasant surprise when we saw him coming this way. But really, we get a feel for the roster about a week before they arrive. But honestly, until they get off of the plane, there's been times when we have the roster and the people that get off the plane are different than what we have on paper. So, when they walked in, we were like, okay, check him off. Yeah, he's here. And 9 of the Brewers' top 30 prospects, 5 of the top 15. So lots of talent. But like you mentioned, I definitely get out, come in April, even if you think it's too cold. If you want to see some of these guys, they might only be here for a short amount of time.
Rob, does it not seem like this year, and I know the Brewers have always kind of built their structure based on the minors and homegrown players, but does it not seem like they're getting highlighted more this year than in years past of making sure that fans that only pay attention maybe at the major league level still know more about these guys that are playing at the minor league level this year in comparison to last?
Honestly, I think it's been the last handful of years. And I think, again, social media has a big play in that. And we have a full-time content creator and it's her job to get the story out on these guys. And it's been amazing in my 30 years to see how it's morphed from how, people know these players better than I do. And they're asking me, when's he going to come? When's he going to come? And I'm like, I don't even know who you're talking about. And that's great. And the Brewers, I think specifically, have done a really good job of promoting their younger players. You see these guys at spring training and they get into the games. I think they've done a nice job. And again, the Brewers culture is fantastic, where they get these young players playing with the major league guys in spring training, hanging out together. So it isn't just this shock and awe and rookie hazing when they get to the big leagues, but it's like, no, you're here to do a job. You're here to help us. And it starts, at the low minors and the way they work together in spring training and, all kind of around each other. So I think the Brewers baseball organization does a great job. They also on the business side want to promote these guys. So when Jackson Churio is coming up through Appleton, they're going to promote him like crazy because he's going to be in Milwaukee soon. And now same like Cooper Pratt, they're pushing him hard, and Cooper got paid, which is great. And I'm sure we'll see him in Milwaukee very, very soon too.
We're chatting with not Rob Domofsky, Rob Zerjav. Did you hear that story earlier?
Oh boy,
that's why
it's
top of mind for me, Rob.
Is he doing okay? Everything good?
Oh, everything's good. Just I had a reminder go off on my end, which I set reminders for literally everything, and it said send Rob the link to make sure that Rob Zerjav, president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, can join us at 7 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I type into my little MacBook, Rob, blink, send. Domofsky.
It was not to you, Rob.
We could have done a co-interview. That would have been great. I see Rob around town occasionally.
Yeah, well, he's in Phoenix, and he got an early wake-up call. Sorry, Rob. Back to you. Take us outside of the fence for a hot second. You just talked about all the guys that are on the inside and how much the Brewers help, but so many of the Brewers that are on the roster now have come through Appleton. Like, look, Sal Frelick. There's a Sal Frelick jersey giveaway, and it's for all fans on Saturday. How cool is that to really highlight some of the guys that have come through Appleton and are now playing for the big league?
Yeah, and we became the high A affiliate of the Brewers back in 2021. Before that, we were their low A affiliate, and it's crazy how you see them go from us to the Brewers so fast now, where Garrett Mitchell played for us. The next year, he was a Brewer. Sal Frelick, yeah, I remember having Sal on the team. He got drafted. He was with us. Just a great person. Came back the next April for, again, kind of that cold cup of coffee in Appleton, and then moved up and with the Brewers right away. It's just great to see these guys, get to know them a little bit, and let our fans and the fans of Wisconsin get to know them a little bit. And just very, very good people, great players. And yeah, like you mentioned, I want to say 5 of the 9 guys starting in the opening day lineup were former Timber Rattlers. Even David Hamilton, who came from Boston, he was a Timber Rattler back when he was with the Brewers. So kind of comes full circle for him. But and even Bryce Terang and to some extent Brandon Woodruff has done 3 rehabs with us. So all these guys have a connection to Appleton.
Can you talk a second, Rob, just about from your guys' perspectives in the minors, seeing the changes and kind of the way that the Brewers specifically, but it's going around in other organizations, paying players before they get to the majors? How does that impact what you guys are doing and the minors, just kind of the way that you guys look at things, knowing, hey, you have a guy here who in 6 months, who knows, could be getting a big contract, even though he's never seen any time in Milwaukee?
Definitely. It's an interesting time. And, the Jackson Churio one, I really understood, and that made a lot of sense. He was kind of on the doorstep. It'll be interesting to see how this Cooper Pratt one plays out. For us, I think at the high A level, we're still kind of a ways away from like an Andrew Fisher all of a sudden getting a huge payday, because he still hasn't been to Double A. So I think they're going to want to see how these guys tested a little bit more at a higher level. But, and again, with the collective bargaining agreement coming up at the end of this season, I think maybe these things will all change. Maybe it'll become even more. But, definitely an interesting time. And great for the players. Great to be able to take advantage and kind of lock in their future, because that's the one thing in baseball. You get there, and then it's, what have you done for me lately? And here, a Jackson Churio, a Cooper Pratt can just say, I'm set. I'm just going to do my job and not worry so much about performing.
Do you worry about that whole CBA thing? How is that going to affect you? I mean, everything, right?
We've been specifically told by Major League Baseball, 1, to not talk about it, and 2, it will not affect the minor leagues. So our season will go on without a hitch. But past that, those decisions are way above my pay grade, and I am supposed to just say, we'll see what happens.
Glad I brought it up. You're welcome.
Yeah. Obviously pre-screen that one. So Rob, again, thanks for joining us. We talked about this before, but I'm looking, you guys, at your bobblehead ticket package and going through the frozen pizza bobblehead. Can you remind people of why there's a frozen pizza bobblehead and why that's a part of this year?
Yeah, we alternate identities are a big deal for us. We started with the Wisconsin Brats, later Hosen uniforms. Utter Tuggers went viral, global. We've been the Utter Tuggers for a number of years. Last year, we debuted the frozen pizzas. And if you're not familiar with why Wisconsin is a big deal for frozen pizza, I believe it's 6 or 7 of the top 10 frozen pizzas in the country are all made here in Wisconsin. I think per capita, we eat more with frozen pizza in Wisconsin than anywhere else. Wisconsin is famous for frozen pizza. We are highlighting that. And part of our bobblehead, we have a 10-game bobblehead package. We've been doing that for 13 years now. So we've given away a lot of bobbleheads over the years. But the bobblehead this year is the pizza pizza slice with the pizza cutter, and definitely a unique one. So we kind of mix and match. So we have some of our famous players. We'll have a Mizorowski bobblehead, we'll have a Trang bobblehead, but we have the frozen pizza. We have Whiffer riding a dinosaur. So there's something for everybody.
Rob Zerjav, the president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, the Baby Brewers, the single A. There's no low A, high A. So we're just going to go single A, right? Affiliate.
We actually are the high A. There is low A, high A, but we can.
Well, there is still low A, high A.
Yeah.
Did they get rid of rookie ball? They got rid of rookie ball.
Got rid of rookie ball. So yeah, 4 levels currently.
Noted. Got it. We're going to talk about pricing in the next segment as we continue on with the Malott Meats Morning Mind Dump, whether certain teams like the Packers or the Brewers or the Bucks have priced themselves out of the middle class with tickets and concessions. The good news is you don't. The concession prices are very favorable for the fan. The ticket prices are very favorable. That's an important piece to you guys. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're family entertainment. We're a baseball team, but at the same time, we have a lot of people that come out that aren't necessarily baseball fans. They're looking for a good time, something to do with the kids, company picnic. And you're going to have a great time regardless of the baseball on the field. It's a lot of fun, but we try to make it as affordable as possible. So we will have ballpark pricing at the concessions, but we also have days like Tuesdays, it's bang for your buck, where hot dogs, soda, draft beer, $2, craft brews and brats. So brats and craft beer on Thursdays are $3. So a lot of opportunity to be very affordable with the family. Tickets starting around $10. So we want to make it a great experience for everybody, but also not dive into your wallet too much. I hear what you're saying, because it is, you start looking, and I know you were talking the other day about just Packer tickets, and it's getting to the point where when you can watch these games at home, is it worth those kind of dollars?
Right.
It's very true. It's very true. And especially because they keep building the product at home. More cameras, more replay, better experience at home, and then charging more for the product.
Well, there's more money in the home experience. They talk about all these TV. I mean, Rob, I'm sure you guys are just raking in the cash on the TV deals, right? The broadcast deals and all the profit sharing. It's huge.
Yeah, no, but we are on TV. So yeah. 50 plus games are live over the air on TV for us. And so we're excited about that. We want people to be able to experience our games. If you can't, again, we know everybody can't come to every game, but you can be a fan. So yeah, we love the fact that you can watch our games when you're not at the ballpark, follow these guys. But yes, no, we are not raking in the dough when it comes to the TV deals. A little bit different in minor league baseball compared to the NFL.
Rob Zerjav, president and CEO of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Opening weekend for the Baby Brewers, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's the 2,000 fan top prospect mini poster giveaway on Thursday. That's tomorrow. Post-game kids run the bases on Friday. And the Sal Frelick all-fan jersey giveaway on Saturday. Although the weather looks like crap, it is what it is. It's the beginning of April, and the T-Rats are at the ballpark. That's all you need to know. Head there today, Wednesday, April 1st, from noon to 5. It is the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers Fan Fest, the rummage sale we talked about, the live scrimmage at 3 o'clock, and the concession stands will be open. All right, Rob, put down the shovel, put down the stuff, rehab that shoulder. We'll chat with you again soon. Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. And as a reminder, the Frelick jersey, because I know we've talked about this in the past, various sizes all the way up to XXX. So it's not just one size fits all. Various sizes. Everybody gets a jersey. Come on Saturday.
I'm guessing you don't have talls, do you?
Love it.
Oh, Trevor, you're so needy.
Yeah. Oh, man, if that's
why don't
not
you
a
hang
drop,
up on him now? What?
No, we can keep Rob on. Rob, you're so right about that. 100%. Well said.
Love you too. See you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rob.
Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. The Malott Meats Morning Mind Dump continues with that conversation. And we want your input. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law talk and text line. Do you believe that the professional and even sometimes at the collegiate level here in Wisconsin, do you believe that the ticket prices, the concession prices, sometimes the parking prices, have they priced themselves out of the middle class here in Wisconsin? Are we even able to go to games, or at least as many games as we'd like to anymore? What are your thoughts on pricing in sports? Hit us up, 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee has kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore. I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the Morning Mind Dump, presented by Malott Meats. High-quality meats at a fair price, safely delivered to your front door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com. Experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Meats Morning Mind Dump. High-quality meats at a fair price, delivered right to your door. To learn more, visit WisconsinMeatMarket.com and experience the power of the family meal with Malott Meats, whose meat of the month was the hanger steak. And as we transition to a new month, it is the tenderloin, which is my wife's favorite, so I'm screwed. What's your favorite steak, Josh?
Pony up, bud. I like a filet. Big filet guy.
So this is it. This is your month.
Yep, this is it for me.
The tendy is the filet.
Send them all.
Medium?
Yep.
Yeah. Hard to do.
I mean,
I'd
go medium rare over, like if you're you can't get perfect. Okay, then go medium rare.
Rarer than more done. Yes. Understood. Ticket prices, concession prices, parking prices. It's a hot topic of conversation. We talked about it the other day. Rob Zerjav from the T-Rats just brought it up on how the ticket pricing at Lambeau Field, even for the Brown County seats, the 300 level, in the south end zone, $155 a ticket plus handling fees. So where do we stand on all this? We're obviously nowhere near other teams in other markets. We were talking with Sparky yesterday from Wisconsin Sports Daily. He shared some information that he found on Twitter from Kevin Dalton that laid out pricing at Dodger Stadium. Listen to this. 2 tickets in section 309 are $818. 2 hours in traffic, you spend a part of your soul in LA.
Mm-hmm.
General parking, $45. A Shohei Ohtani souvenir cup. Remember the souvenir cup conversation we had and how annoying it is that they're all over everything always? $75 for a Shohei Ohtani souvenir cup.
Yeah, but
and it gets
you can
worse.
refill. You can refill it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
hey.
Not with gold. 2 Dodger dogs, $16. Even a bag of peanuts is up to $7 at Dodger Stadium. How are we doing with Wisconsin prices? We believe they're pretty high. And there are some things that show it's actually in the middle in regards to where ticket prices are. Packers pride themselves in that they're in the middle of pricing. But it's still really expensive, and it's getting worse. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. How do you feel about this? Let's have the talk in the Malott Meats Morning Mind Up. Let's go to the phones. On air with us, Dan in Green Bay. What's up, Dan? Thanks for the buzz. What's too expensive for you?
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a good subject. I'm a Packers season ticket holder. There's a lot of elements to this. You know, you just mentioned that they always try to be in the middle with their ticket pricing. But do they tell everybody that they have the second largest stadium in the NFL? So when you look at overall revenue that they're pulling in, you know, they're pulling it in based on a very large stadium. And I think if you're an outsider and you're on the waiting list, you don't understand all the elements that go into buying season tickets. You're having to pay for them right now. We had with the deadline was, you know, the 1st of April.
Yep. Here's your invoice.
Yep. And mine is $2,600. I'm in the south end or north end of the stadium. You know, I'm in the bowl. I have a parking pass for lot 3. So, you know, it's $300 for a game, but then you don't even know what your games are until May. And you're paying for something that you're not even maybe going to till December or early January. And I just see a lot of people in my generation, I'm in my 60s, that are just begging out. They're just saying, it's over. I'm not doing this anymore. It's too expensive. And I am one of them. I am trying to pass my tickets to my children who are in their 30s. They want them. But then you start talking to them about, well, you know, there's a $4,000 personal seat license. And they're like, Dad, I can't do this. I can't.
Wait, tell us about that. There's a $4,000 personal seat license? What?
Yes. When you buy the tickets, I have 2 of them, you are paying a personal seat license for the rights to buy those tickets. So if I want to move them to someone, they are going to have to pay me that personal seat license to take over those tickets. I can move them to a family member. There's a sheet that you fill out. But either I look at my son and say, well, I'll just eat the personal seat license, or I'll say, hey, this is what the Packers require to have tickets. You owe me the personal seat license. And I have coworkers that are coming up on the waiting list, and everybody thinks that waiting list is so long. Their names come up. They see what that personal seat license is, and then what the cost of the tickets are, and they're just saying pass, pass, pass.
Holy cow.
I don't think that waiting list is as long as they think it is. I think there's a lot of people who put kids on there, and they maybe have their own tickets, and then when the kids come up, they say, I can't afford this. And they're just saying no.
Dan, one more quick question for you before we let you go.
Yep.
Hypothetically saying the Packers pull someone's season tickets. It's apparently happened in the past. I don't think they refund that $4,000, do they?
Boy, that's a good question. I am not sure. I certainly would be subject to that because I have to sell some of my tickets. I can't. That's the other thing, you guys. We have gone far and wide. Friends, family, coworkers. Here, take the tickets for a game at list price. Nobody wants them. Nobody. They're too expensive. We can't do this. So we sell them. So I'm subject to that. I'm putting people in my seats where the Packers could come at me and just say, hey, they've misbehaved. We're taking your tickets. I don't know what happens with the PSL at that point.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Dan, thanks for the buzz,
Yeah,
man. We
thanks,
appreciate
Dan.
it.
Appreciate it.
Amazing information.
Yeah,
I had no
great
idea
caller.
there was a $4,000 ticket license.
The best caller in the history of the show. Dan was great.
Really good.
Thank you.
Really good. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Lots of feedback flying in about ticket prices, concession prices, or just how expensive it is to attend a sporting event and the like.
Well, and there are a few different ways to look at this, right? Because it is a balancing act. The teams need the fans, but also the fans need the team, right? Like if you say, if everyone said, I'm just going to watch them on TV, guess what? No, you're not, because that team's going to move. Like you're going to end up, there needs to be a balance if you are going to be a fan of the team. It can't just constantly be, I'm not going to give them money for parking, food, or entertainment. I'm just going to continue enjoying the product based on whatever, TV or licensing or radio or however there's that whole other aspect. On the other end, the teams need the fans. So the teams need to balance it with pricing to keep cheeks in the seats. If you can't do that and you're pricing them out, you're going to see those numbers drop, and then it's going to affect your bottom line. And then, obviously you're going to have people being upset about it. So it is a balancing act for sure.
The 262 reminds us, without getting political, this person says, it's not that things are getting cheaper in general today, let alone ticket prices or food prices at concession stands and so on. And so therefore, a family like yours, Josh, a family of 4, or a family of 4 like mine with 2 teenage boys that eat everything always, that's a pricey deal. And for 4 tickets to a Packer game in those Brown County seats, it was something like $624 just for the tickets alone. Then you got to park. Then you got to eat. Are you tailgating? Are you drinking? What all goes into it? And the answer is a lot. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law talk and text line. Jeff from Luxembourg says tickets are getting pricey, but not out of range quite yet. We'll go to a Brewers game without thinking about it a few times a year, but we've never gambled on a Bucks game with what their prices are, especially with Giannis possibly not playing. That's just not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people criticized the Bucks after they won the championship in 2021 and the prices went up on everything. I mean, everything. The Bucs organization made it known to the fan base, you're watching a championship level team now. The difference is then what do you do when you're not? You raise those prices, and now you didn't keep that competitive nature on the floor. Now that level of play went to nothing. You're still going to charge those type of prices? Guess what? You're not going to have people in the arena. It's just how it's going to go.
Wow, look at this, Josh, from the 920. Just yesterday, this person was over at Lambeau Field at the ticket office, and the guy in front of him asked about the situation where the tickets are being revoked, and he did find out that indeed they refund that licensing fee. But then in the very next breath, apparently, this guy gave up some of his tickets because he was tired of paying for so many, which, there you go, the waiting list gets shorter and shorter. It's insane to me that people are giving up. Look, listen to Dan that just called in. He wants to give them to his kids. He wants his kids to inherit them. He wants his kids to go to the game. And the kids are like, with whose money? How are we paying for them? And if you have to sell a few to pay for them, I'm going to have to sell a few to pay for them. And they don't like that. And so what's that going to look like?
That's a fair point. 414 says it's a whole different topic, but then on top of that, with the way that things are now that you're asked to tip on the drinks or the food you buy, it's getting, and then of course, because you're feeling bad for the workers, a lot of times the workers that you have, especially at American Family Field, their organizations or groups, hey, help our junior hockey team, and so you go, all right, well, I want to help these guys. I'll give them an extra couple bucks here on top of it. Yeah, it all adds up. I will say that I think that in some cases, it's not always the easiest thing to do. There are limitations, but there are ways to be smarter if you know that you're going to be going to multiple games, right? I kind of compare it to Disney World. Like there are people that go to Disney World once and they spend a crap load of money.
Right.
But you're going once. So you're balling out. You're going for it. If you go to one Brewer game a year, you're probably going to spend some money because there's 80 some home games and you're choosing one. So you're going to get the parking pass, the premier parking pass. You're going to get the 100 level seats. You're going to get the drinks and the food and you're going to ball out for that. But you can still bring food into American Family Field. You can't bring alcoholic beverages, but you can bring closed bottles. You can bring food. You can save money. They still have euchre seats. If you have a kid that isn't going to make it through the whole game anyway and wants to go play in the kids zone, don't buy the level 100 seats. Get the cheaper seats. There are ways to try to save money, but either way, yes, prices are going up and everyone has a breaking point.
Steve from Greenfield says, my wife and I surrendered our green and gold package tickets 3 years ago, and we did get that entire deposit back from both of those packages. There is a whole different topic of conversation, Josh, that I wrote down in our sheet about this whole tip for drinks and food at a concession stand. That's something maybe we'll talk about tomorrow. It's also sad, says the 906, that games used to be about taking kids and families to games, and every so often you go, but there's no way, based on the prices, that most middle-class families can truly afford to go to games anymore, and games being plural, right? Professional sports, in this person's opinion, truly doesn't care about that anymore. If they did, they would give up some of the profit and keep it lower.
I mean, it's supply and demand, I think that it's still, it all depends on what those numbers are. Are people not going to Lambeau Field anymore? No. People are still going.
Well, some are.
Yeah, sure. But there's still a waiting list. Like the Packers are still getting their money. They're still filling the stadium. There are enough people that are going, I'll pay that. I've been waiting 15 years to be able to pay that.
Yeah, there's probably an ebb and flow, right? Like when we first moved here, and I pledged 20 years ago, when we first moved to the Green Bay area, that I would never take for granted being able to see Lambeau Field every day. I've mentioned that before. And I also prided myself on trying to get to as many Packers games as I could, whether I found tickets for free or had to buy a few day of, or ended up having people coming into town and wanted to go to a game. Last year, I didn't go to a single home game. First time ever. Well, first time since we moved here in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of that had to do with what you and I do for a living, because I am a party guy when it comes to live sporting events and very rarely pay attention to the actual game happening on the field, at least not to the level that you and I need to pay attention in order to sound smart-ish on the radio the next morning.
Yeah, but I mean, you did go to an away game, right? So
which I'm all in for, by the way.
Dallas.
Yeah, I would really love to do that once a year. Nothing against Lambeau.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying, right? So, like, if people are going to complain about putting money into Lambeau and going to games at home, but then they're going to go, and there's no way a trip to Dallas to see a Packers game costs less than a trip to Lambeau.
You'd be surprised.
With flights,
it was pretty close.
Hotel.
You'd be surprised, man. I'm telling you, based on number of tickets that you get, cheap flights, one hotel. But think about Lambeau, right? The 80,000 people that are at Lambeau Field on a game-by-game basis aren't my neighbors. They're people coming into town. They're driving. They're staying a minimum of 2 nights in a hotel because that's the hotel minimum. You have to stay 2 nights. And they absolutely jack the prices up of those hotel rooms.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's a 2-night minimum for almost every single hotel in Green Bay. You can't just come up here on a Sunday morning, go to the game, stay Sunday night, and go home. It's a 2-night minimum.
That's never heard that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hell, we could call 10 hotels right now, and they will tell you it's a 2-night minimum.
Wow.
You on a Sunday game, you come up Saturday, you stay Saturday night, you go to the game Sunday, you stay Sunday night and leave. Or you come up Friday night and then stay Friday and Saturday night. But if you're staying on a Packer weekend, not only are the rates as high as they can possibly make them in a reasonable fashion, but you have to stay a minimum of 2 nights. Yeah, it's crazy. 414-677-1250. We'll keep the conversation going on the Nicolay Law talk in text line. Plus, have we seen Giannis make his last points for the Bucks? Somebody asked Bobby Portis. It'll be interesting to hear what he had to say about this as we return live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We are inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Talking about money, money, money. Everything has a cost to it. In the world of sports, for sure. Tickets, concessions, parking, you name it. It's expensive. What are your thoughts? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. Lots of feedback still coming in, but Josh, I don't want to overlook the idea that there's a chance that Giannis Antetokounmpo has scored his last points for the Milwaukee Bucks. You saw a clip that Bobby Portis had some feedback on this.
Sure enough, here was Bobby talking on FanDuel.
Well, let's put a number on it, because last we asked, you gave us on a scale of 1 to 10, you gave us a 5 that he'll be in uniform next year. Where are we at on that scale now?
8. Yeah, man, I said 5, and then, you know what I'm saying, I came back and said 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the, I'm in that 5, 6, 7 mark. It's right there in the middle, man. That's just me personally. You know, just being here on the last 6 years, like I said, our goal is to win championships, not just to make the playoffs or to play in. Whatever direction they go, wherever they pick, I know they'll try to, you know, revamp the roster, put new guys around them, sign new guys, whatever it is. I know, you know, John Horst and the owners, they come up with all type of strategic ways to improve the roster each and every year, or do their best to. So I know there'll be some type of splash, or, you know, trade put together to try to improve the roster. But ultimately, I think it's going to come down to Giannis on if he really wants to be here or not. I think he has to make that decision sooner than later, than having the dark clouds just, you know, always around.
That was the part that I was most surprised by. The dark clouds always around.
Mm-hmm. Like, of the decision, right? Like, he's saying that impacts the team.
Sure, the noise in general. I mean, we heard that come up every once in a while, even though a lot of people were like, no, Giannis says we're here. We're all on the same page. He's not going anywhere. But to hear somebody like Bobby Portis talk about the quote unquote dark clouds, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I literally took that as what he said, of make the decision instead of having the dark clouds surrounding it. The dark clouds being the indecisiveness, the question marks, and the media responses that they're very well used to, that they've dealt with as a team for literal years.
Well, but as somebody that plays with Giannis, is it not clear to him? That's kind of what I heard him say. I thought behind the scenes, everybody was on the same page. Giannis is staying. Giannis wants to be a Buck. Giannis never wants to leave. He wants to win another championship here. But then Bobby's like, there's some dark clouds around this whole thing. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't take it as him saying that, you know, there are like dark clouds, like there are dark times at Fiserv, but instead of like, he just needs to make this decision to stop dark clouds, quote unquote, from surrounding the atmosphere, the team. That the decision, he's essentially saying whatever Giannis is going to do, he's got to just do it. He's got to make that decision because it's creating a hostile environment. Not that there's a hostile environment and that's swaying Giannis's decision.
It's not the only rebuild that's potentially going to happen here in Wisconsin in regard to basketball, the Bucks being one of those things that likely will be in a rebuild phase of the franchise. But so too is true for every mid-major basketball team that exists in the country. And that is something I can't wait to chat with Doug Gottlieb about. He joins us next, as he does every Wednesday at 8 a.m. I hope I don't have any more Dougs in my phone. Who am I going to send the link to this time?
Probably Rob. Send it back to Rob.
He never responded, by the way. Probably like, hey, Trev, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd buy it.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What questions do you have for Doug Gottlieb this morning as he jumps on with us in just a matter of minutes as we jump and transition into hoops? What are his thoughts on the Final Four? I know he's going, and so too is every other coach in the history of coaches. I didn't know this, but apparently the Final Four is like a major coach carousel. They all get together down at the Final Four. They all go down there, and it's all Who are you looking for? Who do you need? And it has a lot to do with like coaching positions. He'll have some things to share about that, I think. We'll ask him about the team. We'll ask him about who he thinks is going to win the Final Four. And we'll ask him a few Would You Rather questions on this Would You Rather Wednesday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The 801 says, hey, great job, Trevor and Josh. We appreciate you guys. Well, we appreciate that text. 414-677-1250. What's your take on pricing as we transition out of that? And there are many texts still coming in, by the way, about how expensive things are. Somebody noted a minute ago that you can spend $165 on a conservation patron license for hunting here in the state. And you can pretty much hunt any animal that exists except for trout stamps and the different things that go into that. You can't even go to one Packer game for that amount of money. There are other ways to entertain thyself, and that is a good one to call out. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. DG is next. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa!
And that's a base hit to right. One runs in. Lockridge coming home to tie the game. He will. Sanchez, way back and way gone. Again, fly ball right center, headed towards the gap, and is in the gap and off the wall. Lockridge delivers again. It's 5-2. Bowers, a fly ball to right. Fraley back, and it is gone. Insurance for the Brewers on Bowers' second of the year. Runner takes off, not being held. A little chopper to Bowers. That should do it. They'll apply the tag on Williams, and the Brewers would even the series with the rubber match coming up tomorrow. A 6-2 win for Milwaukee.
Yeah, gotta love it. You know, every time it seems like Brandon Woodruff makes a start at American Family Field, the Brewers pick up a win. He does get the win today. Another great job by the bullpen and timely hitting once again for the Brewers.
As long as they're timely runs, I guess that's all that matters.
That's
Brewers,
most important.
with the dub over the Rays. They even up the series. They go again today in Game 3. And hopefully another Brewers victory in a series, the second in a row. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in. Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and live as he is every Wednesday at 8 a.m. here on Inside Wisconsin Sports on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. Our guy, DG, Doug Gottlieb. What's up, DG? Good to see you.
I was listening to the Dodgers Invitational. A Major League Baseball there. I'm getting fired up. You know,
throwing darts.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not even. I'm such a fake Dodger fan. I love Dodger Stadium, but I grew up like 10 minutes from Angel Stadium. I like to look down usually the first 2 weeks of the season, like the Angels are in first place, and I'll take a snapshot and send it to all my friends, like, yeah. And then we know what's inevitably coming. But Josh, I don't know if you knew how locked in Trevor and his family were on the game last night. I mean, he was like, oh, it might go extra innings. I got morning radio. I got to stay up for the Brewers.
Yeah, it sounds like a perfect Trevor impression, actually. Yeah.
Josh, I'm going to break this one out. Have you ever heard my Major League Baseball is like war analogy?
I have not.
Okay, this is it. I love the History Channel like every dude I think does, and you learn from history. And what changed with Vietnam was that the war was covered on a daily basis, right? And you start seeing American soldiers coming out with in coffins with the flags draped over top, and people no one's prepared for that, right? War covered on a daily basis. That's what baseball is like. Like if you cover it on a daily basis, like, oh, we won, we lost, we're never going to win again. It's really, really hard. Whereas this is why it was great to do national radio. You can just kind of do like, well, they're good, they're bad. Just talk major topics. You don't have to worry about what happened in the seventh inning. I can't believe we went to that reliever. So baseball is very hard to cover on a game by game basis. 162 is a lot. And it's the smallest of small sample sizes in comparison to the large sample size of 162. And so I choose to take the old school, just tell me if we're winning and tell me if we're losing. We're any good, we're any bad sort of approach. Almost like a 1945 covering World War II approach to checking out Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I wish that could be the case. I discovered it was game 3. Game 3 this year was the game I went, okay, crap, looks like I'm all in. I'm already strapped in, buckled in, was read the instructions on the flight, and I'm ready for takeoff. I'm in on every single game, and it happened on game 3 this year. But we talked earlier in the show, DG, that's all based on what happened last year, what the Brewers did last year, and then they came out and they're keeping it going.
Well, you talking about last year and how good they've been last 2 regular seasons?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been awesome. I mean, they clearly they figured something out. It's like we all talked about this when they made the trade. Like I can't believe like. Oh, okay. So they built 2 championship caliber teams. Granted, they didn't win a World Series, but division championships. And I said this even about the Luka trade, which is, well, if the same general manager built the Mavericks to go to the NBA Finals, why do you not trust him to see out the Luka trade? Right now, Anthony Davis got hurt. It ended up being, but they fired everybody anyway. My point is for the Brewers is if they make a move and you greatly disagree with them, you think they're idiots. Well, then, okay, well, they've been right 2 seasons in a row. They seem to know what they're doing. They seem to have a plan and understanding. And it's a lot like what we do here now, right? Because there's more to it than just good player, got to keep good player. There's salaries, there's future salaries, there's building an overall roster. There's, more about your own players than anybody else actually does. And so my defense of the Brewers organization, when they made the big trade was they know more than we do. They seem to have a vision, and they know that you got to load up with arms. And, last night's a perfect example, right? This is Woody's first start back. Why? Because you have to have a depth of volume of arms because you have to know somebody's going to go down and maybe 2 somebody's going to go down. And the best thing to have is just let's throw more live arms out there. And whatever they've done works in the regular season. Now, what they have to do for the postseason, probably a different story. And we can get to that when it becomes important, right? When you get to trade deadline time. But I just think that organization has figured out we want a depth of quality athletes that we can move around playing in the field. And then we need a depth of quality power arms, knowing that it's kind of a war of attrition throughout the season.
Head coach of GB basketball, Doug Gottlieb, joins us on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Before we get to basketball and all of the questions that our listening audience across the state of Wisconsin has for you from last week, I took a big screenshot of all the questions we didn't get to, and there's even more piling in already this morning. Josh, I need you to handle something for Doug and I.
Okay.
On a Would You Rather Wednesday. Would you rather white pepper jack cheese dip for your chips or chili con queso?
Ooh.
There's only one right answer.
No, there's not. Those both sound amazing.
Not on a Would You Rather Wednesday.
Ooh, I'm going to go chili con queso.
Damn it.
Josh,
go ahead with the next question.
Yeah, I got
Josh,
you, DG.
Josh, did you know, maybe you probably know this, Trevor is a chip snob.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't. I'm not surprised.
Total chip snob. So we're at Margaritas last night. Okay.
Been there. Great.
Keep in mind, and this is where there's a mutual love there, right? He's like, he invited me to dinner, which is great. And I literally I left my wallet at Matt Holliday's house over the weekend.
Conveniently, yes.
So I do have the ability to, I can tap or whatever. But I sat down, like he invited me, and I was like, look, bro, I don't have my wallet. He's like, don't worry. I got gift certificates. Okay. So he's low budget like me. Like I'm the exact same way. Like Big B coffee every day. Right? Big B coffee every day. Why? Well, I got gift certificates. So anyway, so the dude's eating for free. And they have these fresh chips at Margaritas. Yeah. And we kind of got to the bottom of the barrel there. Kind of. My man was close to losing his, like, you remember me post Milwaukee game pounding on the table?
Yeah.
That was Trevor when we got to the thin chips that weren't holding the chili con queso. They were breaking off the chili con queso.
Because the strong chips were already gone. You had the leftovers were left.
Correct.
The crumbs.
It wasn't the crumbs. Okay. It wasn't the crumbs.
And why were you mad? Because they didn't come refill the chip thing?
No, I like big chips for dips. That's what they pride themselves.
Listen,
hey, let's go to basketball.
He's not wrong.
No, we're going to stay here for a second.
He's not wrong, but his level of frustration with the chips was like, if Cowboy was here, he would be so ticked right now because these chips are just not the quality that Margaritas needs to have as chips. It's like, bro, it's just chips on a Taco Tuesday.
Had you mentioned to anyone that you were low on chips?
Yes, that's what we were trying to do.
He did the.
Come on now.
Did not.
Oh.
Yes, you did. I sat right next to you.
I did not snap at a waitress. No, I did not. I was going.
Sorry, I know we're on radio, so people don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he pointed, he like took the chips and like showed it to her, like, look at what you've done. Look at what you've done. You know how when you have a puppy and the puppy craps in your carpet, and you take their nose and stick their nose in it, and you go, look what you've done. And the dog's just like, I don't really know, but you're sticking my nose in poop, so don't do that, right? That's what he did.
Trevor.
And the waitress was awesome. She was like, hey, anything you need? And she went and got him. But like, again, it's more in the delivery, the bedside manner, and the level of frustration. He went from listen, he was like me. Okay. Early on in my tenure here, where I would go from 0 to 100 a little bit too quick. My boy's a chip snob of the
920
of the peak variety.
On the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Don't you know who I am? I'm Trevor Thomas. How can my chip thing be empty?
The chip thing wasn't empty. That's the whole thing. It wasn't crumbs. They just were like thin and small pieces.
Yeah.
And my man, he's a big fella, right? So he wants a big chip for a big dip.
Yeah, he can't hold a small chip in his hand. Can't have that.
By the way, the proper answer, just so you're aware, the proper answer is not only chili con queso, but you should order fresh guac, and then you go guac, then chili con queso in one dip.
On one,
do. And then it drips down, and you got to have all.
But you got to be careful with that, DG, because if you don't have the big chips, if you don't have the big chips, there's no way it could handle both.
No, it breaks off again.
Right,
I'm not saying
right. You can't, and then you'll make a scene, and then it'll be a big thing.
Yeah,
and then the news happens to be there. Yeah, it can get worse and worse. You got to be careful.
Amanda just texted me and goes, "You totally did that."
I mean, again, like I said, not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. Hey, Doug, I'm going to try to transition this the best I can.
Yeah, great. Good.
So we've seen people get frustrated sometimes, and it leads to suspensions. We didn't see that happen with Dan Hurley. Although he wasn't frustrated, he did make contact with the referee, and a lot of our listeners here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network went, now, wait a minute, why does he not get in trouble at all, and yet Doug did not touch a referee, and yet he gets suspended? I got to know the answer to this. And we went, well, luckily, we're talking to Doug on Wednesday. So, two things. First, are you familiar with what we're talking about with Dan Hurley? Okay. And second, what were your thoughts and feelings on that interaction and the no penalty following?
Well, first of all, the official's name is Roger Ayers. And he's the best. He got a little swag to him. He's been doing it forever. That's called good officiating. That's really the difference. Now, first of all, look, Danny's won 2 national titles. So when I win 2 national titles, it buys you some equity. I'm just the reality of it. Okay. But the other thing is, that's a ref who knows the thing, right? Like there's a little bit of art to everything that's going on, a little bit of show that's going on to all of the Hurley stuff or whatever. You know, it's like the old, what movie was it where it's like, throw me out of the game, throw me out right now, right? And
yeah.
And those real conversations do happen between yourself and officials. That's really why I was so upset with the Milwaukee thing, which is like, dude, I didn't curse you, you know, and then after you get the tee, they usually come up and they talk to you. There's usually an official that you kind of have an ongoing narrative with. But I didn't have any problem with, he didn't really headbutt him. It was just that the ending to that game was so nuts. Everybody's going nuts. And then he's reacting. He's nuts. And then he's doing his little strut and he sees Roger Ayers. And it was like, can you believe that, Roger? And so Roger Ayers, here's where everyone in the sport knew he totally gets it. I think it happened last year, maybe the year before in the NCAA tournament, where there's like a minute or a minute and a half left. and somebody's trying to empty their bench in a blowout in NCAA tournament game. And so instead of calling a timeout and waiting for it, he pretended there was a wet spot and then allowed them to sub and get the walk-ons or the bench guys into the game. Again, there's officials that get it, right? Don't get me wrong. Their job is to try and get as many calls correctly as possible. But there's also kind of a game within a game, and Ayers gets it, and that's why he wasn't offended. You don't call a technical foul there. And again, that's also a big part of it, which is you have people screaming about technical fouls. Like, you don't do it there. Okay, you don't. There's times in which you just go warning. That was my issue with my technical. Even if I had gone ape, you know what? It should have been you come over and go like, Coach, 6 minutes to go in a big game. I'm done, right? That's how it usually works. That's how it works. So all you saw, that's called good officiating. It's called good officiating. What you saw in the Horizon League is bad officiating. That's why they're in the Horizon League. They got to get better. Okay? We got to get better as coaches. They got to get better at refs. That's how we all climb these ladders.
So what's your argument to those, though, that said that they're the gray area, and that if it wasn't, Hurley, if it wasn't that situation, then things would be different? That why is it okay for him and not someone else, blah, blah, blah. If it would have been an assistant coach that got in his, that put his forehead up against another ref, would it have been the same reaction? What's your argument to those?
If you really knew what Mike Krzyzewski said to officials for a long time, you would be like, I can't believe it. Or what he said, how they talk to players or whatever. Like, again, at the highest level, you have zero people, not you, Josh, personally, but people have zero clue about what's actually said. There's, again, like, we curse as long as you don't curse at somebody, it's accepted practice. Okay. Like I said, there's an ongoing discussion usually between coach and officials. And a lot of these guys have been doing it. Danny's been doing it for 20 years, right? Plus his dad did it forever. His brother, you know what you're in for when Danny Hurley's coaching a game, and, different refs control a game differently. So, it's like, I understand that everybody wants to know what goes on in the profession of coaching, but there's just no way really to explain it until you live it, till you're around it. And, at some point in time, I'm mic'd up for just about every game, and somebody got a hold of that audio for the Milwaukee game. Like, you should listen to it. It's really fascinating that what we say between our coaches, the talks between our players, and then how we handle different officials. I had an official last year. We were playing in not this season, the previous season, in the Horizon League tournament. And I have the audio for it somewhere. I got to have him dig it up. But there was one official who clearly had an issue with us. He sucked all year. He was bad all year. And we're playing against Oakland when they had McCabe, that gigantic monster that it's just nightmare fuel. And he just killed us. And he just stand in the lane on offense. It's a joke. And I got to be, at some point, I got tired of saying, like, hey, can we take a look? That's what I usually do. You do that little semicircle walk, and you walk out by the official. You got a second? Hey, can you keep an eye on McCabe? Like, he's in there a long time. Coach, I got you. Coach, I got you. That's what I said. And at some point you go like, do you really got me? Because he's just standing there. Like,
I don't know that you do.
Right. So it got to the point where I was literally the AAU parent. And this is what happened, Trevor and Josh. We're playing against Oakland in the Horizon League tournament, and I just started counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got to 6. And the official in question turned to me, that's enough, coach. We've had enough. And I said, he's like, just coach your team. And I was like, just do your job. I said, just do your job. No, I'm just asking you to do your job. Comes back down the court, and I go, 1. He's like, do it again, and I'm getting you. And so he ran up and down the court 3 or 4 times, and he wasn't even paying attention to the game. He was just waiting for me to say one more word to where he could do the, bang you with a T. So during the next timeout, there was a more veteran official, and you can look it up in the box score at the game. He's a quality, I think, Final Four official. So I pulled him aside and said, hey, can you keep an eye on McCabe, because your partner is just killing us, and he's staring at me instead of watching the game. And he said, I kid you not, Josh. He said, hey, let me ask you something. Do you like all of the players on your roster to play for you tonight? I go, what do you mean? Are all the players on your roster good enough to play for you tonight? I said, no. He said, well, we have a similar roster. That's what he said.
Wow.
Right? So I go, okay, I got you. So, some refs have to cover for others because their crew isn't strong, right? That's why some of these things happen. Sometimes, Josh, a ball goes out of bounds, and this is one of the things that replay has hurt. Sometimes they'll miss a call, and the ball will go out of bounds, and they'll give it to the wrong team. And the crowd's sitting there going like, why are you giving? It's because, hey, we know we missed the call. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We're trying to make up for it by giving you the ball back. So there's lots of things that go on within a basketball game that people don't know unless you're right there and kind of part of it. I have zero problem with Roger Ayers, with Danny Hurley. I want to talk more about the actual game, the comeback, because I've been on both sides of that bad boy, and I agonized for John, and obviously I wish I was Danny Hurley because that was the coolest stuff ever if you're Danny.
Well, somewhere CB Buckner's like, hold my beer. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, segment 2, we talked about tortilla chips and Danny Hurley. Lots more to cover and little time, but let's take a break. We'll come back in a bit. Doug Gottlieb, head coach, GB men's basketball. We're inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, and we're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sports Book. I'm going to go get some chips. Be right back.
Good.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on a Would You Rather Wednesday. Doug Gottlieb hanging out with us, head coach of UWGB men's basketball. DG, rather than jump into a whole bunch of basketball stuff, which we can save for another day, knowing that you're going to the Final Four this weekend, you're going to see a bunch of different coaches, blah, 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 blah. Let's play Would You Rather, okay? Let's see if we can't rapid fire some of these Would You Rather questions, because there's a lot that people have for you in regard to some things with basketball and I guess some things with chili con queso.
Okay, go.
Somebody, good. Would you rather have a 15-year guaranteed deal at GB or another mid-major with a limited NIL, or would you take a 2-year deal at, let's say, Arkansas with an unlimited NIL? How are you as a coach viewing that?
Wow. Wait, what was my NIL at GB?
Limited, but a 15-year guaranteed deal for you, or a 2-year deal for you at, let's say, Arkansas, but there you have all the money that you would ever want from an NIL perspective.
Wow, that would be really hard. And I'll tell you why Arkansas specifically is hard. My kids live 3 hours from there.
Oh, that was a good question then.
Right?
Yeah, so family first, eh?
Yeah. I mean, if it's pretty much any other, there's 2 little areas of the country where I would probably have to go. That would be one of them. Otherwise, I would do the 15-year guarantee, and then you can build it the right way. You can have patience about it. You can redshirt kids. You can do all the right things to build how we're trying to do it, which is kind of a sustainable sort of model. If you want to get Josh to give me a 15-year deal, that's great. We'd go for that one. I would, again, 95% of the schools out there, I would take the 15-year, which is kind of essentially a lifetime contract. The only point would be like, one, Arkansas has crazy money, so I'd probably make more in those 2 years than I would in 30 years at GB. And I'd also get a chance to see my son and daughters, every other weekend, which would be phenomenal. So I'd probably take the Arkansas on that one.
Good.
Would you rather watch a buzzer beater win for a Cinderella in the first rounds of the NCAA tournament, or a buzzer beater in the Final Four for a 1 or a 2 seed?
Wait, I'd rather. I'm sorry. Wait, I'd rather watch what? A buzzer beater? What?
So you either have the buzzer beater for a Cinderella that is heavily not favored in the first rounds, or a buzzer beater for one of the teams, 1 or a 2 seed, whoever's supposed to be there, but in a Final Four.
Probably Final Four. I mean, again, there's been we talked about this I was on a different pod, which is that shot, the Mullen shot from UConn's the biggest shot in NCAA history. Like, Chris Jenkins won the national championship with a trail 3. Like, he literally shoots the ball, buzzer goes off, ball goes through the basket, and Jay Wright says bang. Like, nothing tops that. Not just because of the shot and the buzzer beater, but it decided the national championship. Those ones trump the ones, even if they're impactful because it's the Cinderella story. Final Four is the answer.
Baseball, peanuts or popcorn?
Oh, no way.
Generally peanuts, but Brewers popcorn at those little popcorn stands, the little red ones where they have the real butter.
White cheese.
No, not white cheese.
Oh.
No. When you go into the concourse at the Brewers games, they have those like real popcorn stands with they're boiling the real butter, and they just put the real butter on there. It's the greatest food at any stadium, anywhere, period, stop. So the answer is popcorn at a Brewers game trumps everything for me. Literally everything. I got grease all over me. I got butter all over my face, and I don't care. It's the best. Matter of fact, now I'm going to a Brewers game just to get some of that popcorn.
Would you rather, first of all, do you know what the 999 challenge is? You guys both, 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings?
No, I mean, that's That's like a case race. Like that sounds like a good idea, but it does not sound like a race I'll ever be in. Okay,
Well,
but
it's
would I
over
rather
the
do
whole
which?
thing.
Would I rather do which? The 9 beers, the 9 hot dogs?
No, I want to know. So, would you rather do the 999 challenge at a ball game or one of those giant pizzas in an hour challenge, which you see a bunch of places do, where the pizza's like, the size of the table?
I could knock out a pizza. I would rather do the pizza.
You'd rather do the pizza, even though you're getting to a break in between, right? Because it's a full inning. You have a full inning to do a dog and a beer.
It's harder to do the dog because I think it's like isn't there a 15-minute rule or a 7-minute rule or something where after you don't feel full until like 15 minutes later. I've heard 7 minutes or whatever.
Okay.
So it actually
Yeah.
the longer the inning, the more you feel more full. Whereas like you give me a big pie, I can knock that sucker out before my brain knows that I've just knocked out an entire pie. Have you noticed that the cheese on a pizza is way better when there's pepperoni on the pizza? I don't know what I mean. Obviously, it's probably the runoff of the grease that makes it taste better, right? But like you get a cheese pizza, it's okay. You get pepperoni pizza, the cheese just tastes better. Even if you take off the pepperonis, it's really, I don't know. Deep thoughts.
I kind of want to try that 999 thing.
Me too. I mean, me and my buddies used to before it was a thing on dollar dog nights. Like we'd get close without trying.
Okay, Josh, proper toppings on a hot dog.
Oh, here we go. So you can do it however, but I'm a stadium sauce. I'm a secret stadium sauce at American Family Field guy. Which have you ever had?
What's the secret stadium? No, I have not. Well, I don't know what the secret stadium is. It Thousand Island?
No.
Isn't that what the secret sauce is for everything?
No.
Is it like Chick-fil-A sauce? Is it like
no?
Cane's
It's like
sauce?
It's red. It's like a barbecue ketchup-esque type sauce.
Because I am a ketchup on a dog guy. I just be honest with you.
So am I. I don't go the Chicago dog rule.
I like ketchup and relish together on a dog. That's me. That's where I go. Ketchup and relish on a dog.
We need to get you some stadium sauce. They do sell it. I will get one. We'll get you some stadium sauce. You got to try.
I'm literally texting him a link right now. Festival Foods sell it. We can get one today.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right.
But I would have to eat a hot dog to do it, and I won't. I only hit a hot dog if we go to a game. Well, here's what we need to do. We need to go to a game, and I need to eat some of this popcorn and then Trevor can do his 999 666 challenge, right? And then he'll probably complain about the bun. Be like, "Oh, I was gonna."
The bun was the problem.
Next question.
Yeah. And then he'll go, "Hey, look! Does anyone see this? I need more beer.
Snap.
What? Hey, what's going on? I need another.
I did not snap. Hey, you're a grown man. You're going to a ball game. Baseball glove or no baseball glove?
Ooh.
Where are you sitting? Who are you sitting with?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. If you go with your son and he's like 5 and you're in left field, well, then you bring a glove, right?
Okay,
or if you're down the left field line where something may come off hot, you're okay going with a glove. I don't mind you going with a glove. I don't. Okay. But you better catch it. That do. You better catch anything close. You got a glove. You better catch anything close.
Yeah.
Anything close.
That's very true.
And you can't be on your phone. You got to be, and you have to protect everybody in the area. You have to be like Dikembe Mutombo. Anytime something comes by, you got to catch it and go, no, I haven't, right? Have you guys ever caught a ball at a game?
Yes.
Never have.
No kidding.
Really?
No. Randy Myers gave me a ball once when he was with the Mets. I went to a Dodger game. The first day of my honeymoon with my now ex-wife, but we went to Cubs Reds at Wrigley, and Sammy threw us a ball. This is a true story. So this is back when this is 2000, back when Sammy was blowing, kisses to everybody. This is back before the rest of the world knew he was a juicer or whatever. He was the most popular guy on earth. So he threw a ball. He'd throw a ball before every inning when he was warming up. So he threw me a ball, and like 4 people over was a little girl, and she held up a sign and said, "Sammy, it's like my 7th birthday. Can you throw me a ball?" And I got a ball, and I'm sitting there like, I can't be the world's worst human on the first day of my marriage. So here you go, little girl. So I did, but I've never actually caught a ball hit off a bat in a baseball game, despite going to hundreds of them.
So that's a good would you rather. Would you rather you catch a ball at a game? Would you rather hold on to it or give it to a kid? Because I will tell you this, I've been in scenarios where I hold on to it because I have a kid at home. You have any idea how nice it is to be able to bring that and see the joy on my kid's face?
No, you give it to the kid.
Oh, yeah. No, see,
because they'll never forget that moment. And you'll be like, hey, I remember and you'll never forget the moment you actually caught the ball. I don't know. I don't mind the glove. I don't mind the glove thing. I know we do this like guy shaming thing where like be a man, catch a baseball with your bare hand.
Right.
That's like the same guy that goes, hey, you can't pee at the small urinal. Why? I gotta go. Everyone else is covered up. Like it's still a urinal. What's the difference? Maybe I'm more secure in my masculinity than some of these dudes. Like I try not break my hand by catching a baseball.
Yeah, there's that.
I don't know if that's the same comparison, but all right. A small urinal to bring you a baseball.
It is. It's the whole like.
It's a stretch, DG.
I'm a man. I gotta drink as many beers as possible. By the way, this is a real story. I was in Oklahoma this past weekend at the Big 12 Equestrian Championships, and I made Wisconsin Old Fashions sweet. By the way, for all the other parents, all the other Oklahoma State equestrian parents, and they're like, I got to get to Wisconsin. Like, you're right. So, shout out to all the bartenders that have taught me how to make. Caleb Suda actually taught me how to make it at the Iron Duck. Taught me how to make a quality. I muddle.
Yeah. Gotta muddle it.
Muddle the cherries and muddle the oranges. I throw in a little bitters. I make a mean Wisconsin old fashioned.
Attaboy.
All right, Josh, you got one more, and then we'll let DG go.
Hold on. Let me bring this back.
Are there other questions other than the would you rather that we need to get to?
Yeah. Can I get to one basketball question, and then we're running out of time real quick, though, boss? All right, here we go. Jeff from Luxembourg said last week, if a major roster overhaul is in play for GB this offseason, which would likely happen, you can give us an update. What type of offense do you prefer to play with the right guys?
Well, I'm a 5-out guy. Offense hasn't been our issue for the most part either year. We definitely tweaked it this year where we spaced with our bigs. We were kind of funky, right? We spaced with our bigs and we drove with our wings and cut with our wings this year. But I mean, look, we had the most efficient offense in the league this year by a mile. We shot the highest percentage. We were in the top 5% in terms of 2-point field goal percentage, 3-point field goal percentage. We limited our turnovers. We played a little bit slower pace than I want to play. That's how we're going to play, but we're going to tinker it to whatever our talent is. And I don't know if there's a major roster overhaul, and just this is the nature of sports. We had a substantial number of graduating players. By design, we knew we had to get older, and we're going to have some guys that are going to go in the portal and test the waters, and so we have to prepare ourselves. Feel really good. We got some. I feel like we have a really good potential announcement sometime before the portal opens about who's coming back. But I'll just whet your appetite with that because I don't believe it's for me to say. I think the players deserve. If they are going to go in the portal, they should get to announce it. And we should champion the fact that if they are going on to a place to where they're going to 2x or 3x the money they can make here, and if they're going to stay, it's up to them when they want to announce that they're staying, whatever type of fanfare they want to get. This is their time to shine. Either way, stay or go.
Doug Gottlieb, head coach, UWGB basketball, friend of Inside Wisconsin Sports, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Happy Wednesday, buddy.
We're still friends. We're still good.
We're still friends. We're good.
No, we got to line up this Brewer game.
Yeah, we do. Let's see.
Yeah. Hey, let's line this up. Come on.
Brewers Dodgers, May 22nd through May 24th.
Oh, I happen to be free. There we go.
Is that a date?
I think so.
I actually have no idea.
So.
You're not allowed to wear Dodger blue.
Well, I have Brewer gear. I don't own any Dodger gear. I told you I'm a total fake Dodger fan. Like I know Dave Roberts, he's an awesome dude. Okay. But I'm not going to wear. What's the difference between a Brewer blue and Dodger blue? I can't wear an LA hat.
It's in negotiate. We'll negotiate.
Okay.
We'll see who pays for your chips and dip, I guess.
There we go.
Yes. Bye, Dougie. The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I love
amazing.
Absolutely love them. All right, we'll cross over with 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff and Brandon Snide, maybe on the other side. We're inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Hey, in case you missed it, the Bucks won last night. And when the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. No purchase is necessary. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win. So act fast and get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Wrapping her up today and crossing over with our friends from 9 to noon with John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, Brandon Snide. Today, Brandon and Tim Allen from 9 to noon here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Remember, podcasts available wherever you listen to them. Search Inside Wisconsin Sports. Brandon, breaking news. You're having CB Buckner on the show this morning?
Oh, wow.
Nah, that was an interesting one last night from him. He'll be behind the plate tonight or today. So I wonder what the early record is for ABS challenges. Because whatever it is, it's probably going to get broken today between the Brewers and the Tampa Bay Rays.
Do you feel a little, and we brought this up at the beginning of the show, do you feel a little bad for CB Buckner? Like, I feel a little like,
why?
Because the guy's going through it right now. He's had a rough start to the season, man.
You can't make calls on a field that you're not even looking at.
Yeah, I know. It was a bad look, but that's my point. He had the bad look then. It's not like that was the first oops he's made this season.
That's why I don't feel bad for him. Had it been a guy who's on the first base side, is a younger umpire, maybe he just made a bad call in the moment. Bad calls happen. I'm not perfect. Like there's times where I go back and I wish I could be better at certain things. But like CB Buckner has a history of calls, 26 missed calls, you guys. The last time he was behind the plate, I think it was Cincinnati and somebody. 26, Trevor, missed calls behind the plate for an umpire who probably gets paid pretty good amount of money. He's going to be protected by the union, so he's not going to get fired. I don't, to Josh, to answer your question, I don't know how you feel bad for him.
I just, I hope he has a good game tonight.
I mean,
he needs
a
win.
Too.
The guy needs a win.
There's that human element to it, though, of watching somebody completely fumble, right? I mean, we all saw the replay last night. He wasn't looking at the base. Did he do that on purpose? Of course not. But he also was like, ooh, squirrel. What's that ball doing way over there?
But then just don't make the call then. Like, how are you going to not look at the play and then tell everybody that's watching the game, Jake Bauers didn't touch the base.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
That's what we see that in college basketball, right? When there's a team of officials and the one guy whose call it is doesn't see which team knocked it out of bounds. And they confer with each other and make the right call, and away we go. That would have been a good opportunity for that last night.
Yeah, if you don't see it, just don't make the call. Like, I don't even know. It wasn't even like, at times you see like, okay, his toe clipped the front of the base or his heel clipped the back of the base. Like that happens, but his foot planted squarely in the center of first base last night.
Well,
it wasn't even like close.
And the thing is, even if Bauer's foot was perfectly on the bag, if he would have been looking at it,
correct.
That was the big thing. Is you were caught looking at clouds for a second in a time when, which I get it too, because he's watching the ball, right? He's watching, his eyes are going towards the terrible throw to first, which was not even close. It was even close. Halfway down the line. Yeah. But he's looking at that and then goes, no, I don't think he was on the bat. Well, bud, you were watching the ball the same as the rest of us.
And he has a track record. That's the issue. He has a track record of being bad, not only in years past, but this year he has a track record of being bad. I hope he
has a good one tonight.
I anticipate, Trevor and Josh, I believe either Kevin Cash, the manager for the Rays, or Pat Murphy will be ejected today.
Oh, yeah. I want that one.
I think they're going to, like, something's going to happen. Like, you only get a certain amount of ABS challenges, right? And so you're not going to be able to challenge everything unless you get them right all game long. But I would anticipate that it started last night. Kevin Cash and Pat Murphy had a fun moment. They were laughing. They caught eyes and they laughed about it. But if it's going to carry over, if it's a close game, if it's a 3-2 count that draws a walk and in the 6th inning or the 7th inning or something like that, I would anticipate emotions will start to get high because, again, it's expected that he's going to be bad behind the plate. And you saw what we saw last night, or you didn't see what you saw last night if you're CB Buckner. And and I think it's gonna boil over to today. I hope it doesn't, because that means, the game went smooth, but I think it will.
Less than a minute. What's up from 9 to noon today?
It's me and Tim Allen. I said, let's just do a 2.5-hour Brewer game. That's all we need to do. Brewers pregame show. Like, let's just do a 2.5-hour Brewers pregame show, but we're not going to do that. We'll talk about Brewers. We'll talk about Brandon Woodruff on the mound. We'll talk about CB Buckner last night. We'll talk a little bit about Bobby Portis spoke on the future of Giannis. The Bucks won, as you heard. Yay, I guess.
Yep, that's what I said. You won when you weren't supposed to.
Cool.
Good job.
So we'll talk about the future of Giannis. Bobby Portis spoke on that. So we'll dive into some of that.
Our thanks today here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh to Rob Zerjav from the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Opening weekend for the T-Rats in Appleton. DG, Doug Gottlieb, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. on a Would You Rather Wednesday. It was a fun one, Wisconsin. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We will see you tomorrow.
Because we're not done yet.